All right, welcome back. Now, it's time for us to get into a conversation that is very, very critical to the essence of who we are as a people. Now, we're going to go to Pokuase Interchange and look at something that's happening there. Now, we have a report for you. The interchange is being defaced by the actions of, we, the same human beings and the same Ghanaians who were crying for improvement in that corridor of their city. Let's take a look at this report. When we come back, I'll introduce my guests to you, and we're going to have a conversation about this issue.
The Pokuase Interchange, the largest interchange in West Africa, is a critical road project linking the Central Road Corridor, which is the strategic road connecting the port of Tema to Kumasi, Ghana's second largest major city, and onto Burkina Faso. The project is intended to stimulate industrialization, provide income-generating opportunities, promote affordable transport services, and generally improve the livelihoods of people in the project area. A recent visit by Citi News to the project area, which was commissioned about 2 years ago, revealed that the beauty of the original design appears to be fading away due to the lack of a monitoring team. The green concept of the infrastructure, which was originally to plant flowers, garden, and trees at some selected median of the streets, have been left unattended, thus giving rise to weeds. Some of the main street lights have also become faulty. Some pedestrians have been speaking to Citi News on this development.
Yeah, it's really no maintenance. I can see Ghana in whole. Every time, every road, there's a lack of maintenance. Look at the roadside. This is not flower, and this is not flower. It's a bush, whereby they have to do all those things. And the electric poles, if the bulbs die, they didn't repair it. If they are doing their jobs, I know these things may not happen. So those who are for this job have to wake up and do their job.
Anytime they are fixing the road for, we need to employ people who are going to maintain. But finish doing the road, but we lack of maintenance. Every problem that we are facing in this our country.
Maintenance of the road, our Ghana has been very poor. Until flowers were no every free flowers in now say run a fuaji quani prison for hanka every week be a mama prisons ababedo and run a walk on be amonye na there's Santos Subium street lights you baby almost on am solar but in so talk na in so native edranadua intimi enya juma.
A walk on the pedestrian footbridge revealed that some unknown persons have stolen the cables which power the pedestrian street lights. A great number of the handrails along the stretch had also been taken off by these unidentified men, reducing the beauty of the project. A stroll into some inlets of the community also revealed that some residents have cut the rules to lay their waste pipes to the gutters without recourse to law. Citi News checks with the area also confirmed that some residents have even attempted to drill boreholes at areas holding water. Desmond Yao Hodanu Bedi, a resident in the area who was the QC manager of the project, has been highlighting how some community members are defacing the project.
There's the street lights and the walkways lights which cables have been pulled out. This currently won't be a good situation for the people of Pokuase. When we were handing over, our note was that we cautioned them to be vigilant and also be citizens of this country and not only spectators. So when we happen to pass by and we see such an infrastructure being damaged of this state, we had sort of hard feeling for the sponsors and also the country as a whole. Our caution is that we should report such issues to the police. I'm very sure if the states do not have a keen look into this particular issues relating to the Pokuase Interchange, it wouldn't be what the designers or what the dreamers actually thought the project would have been. We are of the view that a second look should be given to the Pokuase Interchange for it being the first of its kind within the Sub-Saharan and first in West Africa. I think this one should be well looked at.
The project engineer, Kobna Bimpon, also indicated that the Ministry of Roads has assured of putting up a team in monitoring and maintaining the interchange.
The interchange and the roads were done to the best, of quality. But unfortunately, that is not what we are finding. Look, the greens that we have in the medians, and they cost us a lot of money. Please, we need to maintain our national monuments. This is a monument for Ghana. And I know I have already spoken to my bosses, in the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Department of Urban Roads. And they've given me indication, which I'm working towards, trying to get a team that will be responsible for the management of the interchange so that we can maintain its national pride and ensure that it is in the best shape at all times. So this is, and of course, there's also another thing which I've always spoken about, the drivers. When there's an accident, they have to report. Those also who pour fuels and oils or lubricants in general on the road surface. This is asphalt. It is going to dissolve. This is, it's like you're putting a solute onto a material that will dissolve. It will just dissolve it. So please, they should, stop doing that.
All right. Well, that's the report we have for you. And we've been joined in the studio by Mr. Kobna Bimpon, who is an engineer and the former resident engineer for the project itself, as well as the president of the Ghana Institute of Engineering. Now, welcome, sir. Welcome to Breakfast Daily. All right. So,
Good morning.
First of all, let's just talk about the emotional side of it, as you see where the project you worked for years on, to see it after just a few years looking the way it's looking. How does that make you feel?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. Emotionally, it is draining. And this is a job that I was on for 6 years. A lot of people think that we started in 2018 and completed in 2021. But in 2015, our company, Associated Consultants Limited, was given the job or the design aspect. So we engaged in the design, and for 3 years, we labored weekends, weekdays, day and night, and we worked on a project like this. And engineering is very specific, because if it is 1 meter, it is 1 meter. And you do all these things. Then it comes to construction. We were fortunate to have been awarded the project. And for me, I was telling your colleague that it meant sleepless nights. Because sometimes you sleep and you imagine things. Whatever happens during the day, you take it to bed.
Into your sleep.
Sometimes I dream when we are maybe constructing a portion of the bridge. When we're constructing, I dream that the bridge has fallen.
Wow. And
I see it vividly. And of course, what that means is that I have to go very early in the morning to go and check something and be sure that it has been done right. Because if it is not done right, probably nobody else will see it, and that could cause a collapse. So having gone through all this, you have an emotional attachment to it. For me, it is my baby. And I live in Pokuase.
Okay.
I live in Pokuase, and I interact with the interchange daily. And I've always said that this was not, for me, it was not a job. It wasn't a job.
Yeah.
It was something that had to be done. And I was going to say an indigent, but then a resident of Pokuase, I had interest, because if anything happens, I am the one who's going to use it. My children are going to use it. My whole family is going to use it. My friends. So this is what's on why I work on this project with passion. With passion, not just engineering, but with passion.
But now let's look at the interchange. Okay, this is a project that was earlier supposed to be a 3-tier, then it changed to 4-tier, making it the biggest in West Africa. Such a monumental, edifice for Ghana and Africa. Tell us about the interchange itself. You know, it's beautiful when you see the pictures. When you stand back and look at it, you ask yourself that, oh wow, so Ghana also has this. We can also do this. Let's understand, you know, the make of the interchange, why we have what we have, and how come we see what we see there.
Well, thank you very much. Now, again, and let me step back a little bit if you have time. Before we came up even with a 3-tier interchange, we considered options.
Okay.
And we had 7 options. You know, you start, you know, in engineering, you don't just come up and say that this is what is going to work. So we said, okay, what about if we just had a 4-leg interchange? Sorry, a 4-leg intersection.
Okay.
Signalized. How would it look like?
Traffic lights.
Traffic lights.
Coming from here, coming from here, coming from here.
Yeah, it would have worked. But then would it have been the optimum solution? So we went on and looked at various, interchanges. I'm not going to mention names, but then there are some of the interchanges that you see around. Okay. Then we, at the end of the day, having undertaken engineering analysis and option analysis, we have something we call fatal flaw analysis. We then came up with a single point urban interchange, which is a 3-tier interchange. And what that meant was that we were going to have 2 tiers, the Accra-Kumasi Road on the north-south, and then the Awoshi to Kwabenya at the top tier, which is the east-west. And then there was going to be a signalized 2-phase intersection in the middle. So that was the design. And if you say 2-phase, it is stop and go. We have 3 phases, we have 4 phases. Stop and go. But then when the contractor came to site, based on the methodology for construction, because in most construction would have to put in supports, and that support was going to block the main road. So we said, hey, why can't we do something else? I said, okay, come on, let us think. So we came up with the option of that middle section, which was the intersection. Why don't we separate the grades? And by separating the grades, we would eliminate the need for any interaction of traffic moving there. So then we came up with a 4-tier interchange, which is what we call in engineering a 4-tier stack interchange.
Okay.
What that means is that our top tier is the Awoshi to Kwabenya, which is the east-west movement. That is preserved. Now the bottom tier, which is the first tier, is the Accra-Kumasi. That is also done. Now in the middle, we changed, we separated them, and in doing so, you would have a right. So let me start from Kwabenya. When you are from Kwabenya, and let's say you are going to Pokuase or to Kumasi, you make a right turn, and that is just a right leg or ramp, as we would call it. And then if, again, you are going to Accra, you would take a left off the right, okay? And then that will take you under the top tier, and then that will take you to Accra. In the same vein, if you are from Awoshi going to Accra or to Kumasi, right will take you to Accra, left will take you to Pokuase, Kumasi, you know, and it goes on, you know, for all the other legs. So that is, it is repeated. So again, if you are from Accra, Central or Accra, going towards Kumasi, that is to be the lower tier. If you are going to Kwabenya, you take the right ramp. If you are going to Awoshi, you take the left. And these are all separated. So you don't have any opportunity for any form of accident, such as, you know, head-on, you know, collision, side swipe, and all rear end, you know, all those things are taken off from. And that is what an interchange is supposed to do. It's supposed to move volumes of traffic. Because on the Accra-Kumasi Road alone, at the time of our design, we were projecting a 50,000 vehicle per day on that stretch.
Wow.
Yes. So you need to have an interchange that is able to handle that volume of traffic. And that gives you the capacity of the interchange. So every interchange has its own ability or capacity to carry or to move traffic, as we would call it.
Now, so looking at this, I mean, of course, it's it was said at the time that it was like it was the second in the whole of Africa.
Yes.
And the first in West Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the first one, which was even a modification of an existing interchange at Cloti in South Africa, which also had a 4-tier interchange. But so far as our sub-region is concerned, this is the only one. This is the only one.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Are we done? Is the interchange completed?
The interchange itself was completed in 2021. However, there are certain approaches that will complement the work of the interchange, because an interchange does not work in a vacuum. And we should also remember that putting an interchange does not solve all the problems in Pokuase. So now you can see that we are working on the Ofankor to the beginning of the interchange, that is on the N6, that is the Accra Kumasi Road. And then beyond it, from where we have Pokuase, where we put in the pedestrian footbridge, beyond all the way to Nsawam. And what we are doing there, and I'm happy to be the chief resident engineer of that project too. We are putting in an 8-lane, just an extension of the new plan to Ofankor. So you are going to have a service road. Even as I speak to you now, this morning we are demolishing the railway bridge to make way for expansion. We are going to demolish everything so that we will now have 2-lane service road, 2-lane dual carriage way. So we have 4 and 2 on either side, and that will give you 8. Now, after Pokuase, it changes into a 3-lane dual carriage way, and the 2-lane service road will continue. So the service road is more like the collector, distributor, which will take care of local traffic. So that anybody who enters the dual carriageway will just zoom through. And that is 10 lanes in total.
Wow.
And you can, if you go there, we've demolished quite a number of structures because we have a 90-meter corridor, and some people had encroached, but that is a discussion for another day.
So when you were given the job, what were you supposed to do before, during, and after?
Yes, so for that particular project, the design had said that, initially they had a certain design, which, if my memory serves me right, was more like the one at Akwaje with the rotary. And then we said, hey, why don't we explore? Because, like I said, engineers, we are never satisfied. Even if you gave me an opportunity to look again at the 4-tier interchange, which is being held,
something else will come up.
Something else will come up. You'll never finish designing. So I'll talk about it. But then, so we were asked to, review a design. Just a review. And we're given a very short period to review the design. But then as we review the design, we look at the traffic, we look at, the methodology for construction. We then came up with the idea that, let us do the 3-tier, which we call the single point urban interchange. And there are many things that go into it. For instance, the environmental impact. Just close by, when you are from Accra going towards Pokuase, on the right-hand side, we have a sacred grove and a forest there. That is what the Ghanaians call Gua Ko. Ko in Ghana means forest. So Gua forest. And we had to preserve it. It is also the source of a river body. Yes. You have water.
That's on which side?
On the eastern side, when you are coming from Accra, just before you get to the interchange, after Echo Block, on the right-hand side, there's a small parcel of land there. That is, I was going to say, supposed to be a forest.
And you won't be far from right.
But you see, it serves a purpose.
Sure.
And this is something which will take us into other areas, but then I would like to bring it out. Now, when it rains, that area serves as a reservoir to hold the flood waters and to dissipate them or to allow them to flow when the rains have subsided. And that's how come that area serves as a receptacle for the flood waters. And then if that forest is destroyed, I can bet my last penny that there'll be massive flooding. So those who are encroaching should be on the watch out. And if our authorities also allow these things to happen, and it's not only there, so many areas, so many areas are happening where we are allowing all these natural wetlands.
So you are supposed to review an existing plan, design,
Yeah.
and then you finished and you were given the job to now construct it.
That's right.
And then when it is done, whose job is it to ensure that the interchange, huge money's gone into it? That was about 94 point something million. Is it more than that?
Well, it was lower than that. The 94, looks at many other parts of the project, because this was part of what we call the Accra Urban Transport Project. So it was a wider project.
Okay.
The project itself, in terms of the cost of construction, was less than $80 million.
Okay.
Now, the question that you asked, as part of our contract, because I went on as a consultant, and as part of our contract, we were supposed to ensure that the contractor maintained the road for 1 year after construction. Incidentally, yesterday was the 2nd year anniversary after President, His Excellency, commissioned it. 9th July 2021. After the work is handed over, after 1 year, it is expected that the Ministry of Roads, represented by the Department of Urban Roads, will take care of the roads. But then things like grass cutting, putting the sweeping, left to me, I think that this is best suited. No, we are talking about district assemblies, metropolitan and municipal. I believe that they should be empowered to do that. Because this is for them. Yes, it is a national route. All right. But then they should be commissioned to be able to take care of that.
Do our laws not already give them that capacity?
Yes.
So my question then is, what are they waiting for? Because honestly, I mean, I have been doing a bit of an experiment in the last few weeks where I drive through different routes and I actually monitor the growth of weeds, grasses, trees in some cases on our highways. Right? I mean, I can tell you for free because I filmed it myself, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it in the next coming few days. But you'll find that in the Achimota Forest area, if you're coming from Fiesta Royal traffic lights heading towards Apenkwa, the ramp where the road goes towards the Achimota Forest, where you turn in towards Achimota School. That ramp, you find trees growing out of the
separator.
Yes, the separator. You know, and I ask myself, what on earth is this? Who is in charge of this space? It almost feels as if parts of the city and the country is ungoverned.
I hate to say this, but you are right. Because this is glaring. And like the Akan will say, when something is true,
because I mean, I was so disappointed. Look, engineer, I parked my car, and I'm sure you know the ramp I'm talking about. There is a bus stop there as well. I parked there in the bus stop. I was looking at it in amazement. So I started filming, and then I realized that even where I'm filming, there's an even bigger tree growing out of the separator.
You know, I have crossed a red light and the police stopped me. And my offense was, why have you crossed a red light? And I told the police because I didn't see there was a traffic light. Because when you're going to the Abeka Junction area, you know, where the Peter area, you know, the
coming from
like Abeka area, I mean, the growth in the middle of the road, there's no way you can even see what is coming in the opposite lane. You know. And the traffic light is at that spot, inside, in the middle.
It is obscured.
Exactly. So, and I don't even know why we have the traffic light there in the first place.
It's a pedestrian crossing.
No, I get that. But if we know we will not maintain, because we can't see the traffic light. So whether it's green, whether it's red, any, first-time user of the road will cross the red light. Because, one, you don't see anything when you are moving. All you see will probably be overgrown weeds. And these are beyond my height.
Yes.
And the traffic light is in there.
Yeah.
So why is it my fault that I did not see the red light?
Yeah.
So engineer, in the first place, how much did we spend? Because when the whole project was done, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The flowers there, everything. It was such a beautiful
You've forgotten the
scenery.
fufu people that were pounding fufu.
We will come to the fufu people. How much did it take us to, decorate that space?
Well, in terms of decoration, and where I guess you're talking about the landscaping.
The landscaping, yes.
The soft landscaping.
Yes.
Even though the contractor quoted very low, we got something in the region of $1 million in the implementation.
Serious?
Yes, we got a quote from a subcontractor at the time, and it was $1 million, and that was even, planting and then looking after it for it to establish for like 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So those of you who have planted or done some grass in your home,
Yes.
I can tell you, just your home.
Yeah.
Those small, they sell them in bags.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those bags, they are probably half full. And they are very expensive.
Yes.
They are expensive.
Yeah.
So for a project like this, you can imagine, because we had about 7 kilometers of the median, which was about 4 meters to grass.
Yeesh.
On the Accra Kumasi Road, we had 2 kilometers to work on, and then around the interchange, it proper.
Yeah.
All these were designed.
Yeah.
They were not just planted haphazardly.
Yeah.
They were designed, and we had a certain view in mind that this is how we would want our project to look like in the future when everything is established.
But why would we even spend that much? Okay, no, I'm asking something. Why would we spend that much on landscaping when we have experiences already in this country, knowing very well that we will not maintain it because we have examples around that we know we have not done so well? Weeding has been a problem. I mean, all the places that we've decided, we are yet to even get better explanation and better details to the tree planted project that we are working on and all that, how well we've been able to maintain all these. Why would we spend so much money when we know that this will come to naught? In a few months' time, all this will die because nobody will take care of them. And it's not as if we did not know this from the beginning.
My simple answer is something that is personal to me, that things have always remained the same. It's not enough reason we must not change.
Yeah, I like that.
We live sometimes in a concrete jungle. This morning I was listening to Able. He's talking about New York.
Yeah.
Go to New York, they go to Central Park. We have that serene, and you go in the UK, you have all these things. So if we cannot provide a Central Park in Accra, why don't we provide some greens? Don't we get tired of seeing concrete all over, asphalt?
We are more than tired.
And we want to have a certain carbon footprint. We are producing a lot of heat. It's not just concrete, but then there's a lot of heat being produced. There's a lot of carbon. So our contribution as engineers, and look, engineers, we are not just the structural water, we are also environmental engineers.
Yeah.
So we have environmental engineers on our projects, and we resolved that we are not just going to allow the narrative to control what we do. Look, if that were the case, then I would not even design and provide crash barriers or anything, because at the end of the day, it's going to be hit.
They'll break it and they'll spoil it.
But then if I don't do it, I'm going against my own ethos as an engineer. Because I'm supposed to provide, provide security and safety of the human being. The human being is supreme. Yes, so we know it may not, but then we are talking about it. And I know as we talk about, things are going to change.
Because this is huge monies we've pumped into this, and
Yes.
some people are just sitting down watching for our hard-earned money that we don't even have to go down the drain.
You know what I said earlier, where the country it looks like parts of the country are ungoverned, right? When you go to the Pokuase Interchange, ever since our new IGP came, or our current IGP took office, I've noticed something. From the stretch of the median at the base of the Pokuase Interchange, right? The lowest road that goes from Circle, the Ring Road Central, that goes from Circle to Dankwa Circle.
Yeah.
The entire stretch from Pokuase to beyond the police headquarters has all been landscaped properly. The flowers are there, they've maintained, they've removed the weeds, and they've actually created fencing for it. And in the middle of the night, one night, I saw a police tanker watering the place. And I said, you see, when a space is governed, you can see. Today, if like, let's finish the show and go down there and go and see. It's the most beautiful part of the entire Circle Stretch, the Ring Road Central, the entire Ring Road Central. That space between Pokuase and the police headquarters is the most beautiful stretch. But because somebody is governing it.
Well, that's my issue here.
And this is what...
Now, engineer, so do we have a facilities management team handling the interchange?
Okay. Currently,
yes.
No. But then you see, within the Ministry of Roads and Highways, they have a maintenance unit. And here I'm not talking about forced, work as we used to have in the past. Yeah. These are jobs that are given, on contract. But we all know the challenges that the country is facing, and we want to build new things. We love new things, okay. But when it comes to maintenance, and again, I'm not saying that I know it all, but then probably the maintenance budget is not enough to spread through, because everybody is crying for new roads, and it is this same maintenance budget that is used to probably reshape a certain road, in the hinterlands that will bring food to us. It's the same. They are doing. So it's trying to stretch the small money across. Maybe the challenge, but then we have a solution.
Okay.
With the Pokuase Interchange, we came up with what I call an unsolicited proposal. Okay. Okay, engineer, architect Ralph Sutherland helped us to develop. Under the interchange, we have a lot of space, and he calls it an urban room. An urban room where we were going to provide certain facilities, an intermodal transport service, because remember that the train passes through. So we're going to provide a train station. They're going to provide some areas for recreation, because there's also water. We can have plants. As I mentioned to you, the Guaco has the Sunkwa River there. We were going to provide a police station, fire station, bank. It's a whole infrastructural project. Now, we are looking at having a kind of a private, what we call the PPP, okay? Public partnership, so that they would take care of the place or provide the infrastructure, make some money, and then they will be required to take care of all the things that we are talking about, the environment. And in some other places, I don't want to mention it, but then certain portions of roads are adopted. So our churches...
It makes sense.
They adopt and they ensure that it is clean. It is also a way of giving back. I'm not saying that we are not absorbing the government agencies from doing their work, but we, the citizens, must have a passion to maintain. Like I'm sitting here, I'm not going to gain anything, in terms of monetary value. But then I believe that it is a public service, and we should learn to do that.
But engineer, I think the challenge also comes when there are individuals, because I know, because of the funeral I had this weekend, one of the conversations that came out, because the road to the church where we had the funeral was terrible, horrible. It's been like that for 30 years. I've seen it. I've lived in the area. But my understanding is that every time the church itself has asked to touch the road, to try and, because it's the road services, the church. So apparently people don't want it to be touched, because it's almost as if which political party do you belong to, and if you go and do the road, we may lose votes, because it's like you may be against. It's a funny way we think.
We need to change our mindset as Ghanaians. Our mindset is just
no, that's what is
right.
killing us,
Yeah.
honestly. Yes. Because as you were, you mentioned earlier, I think that if government has, given this much of money to construct the road, I understand that we don't have so much, and so the maintenance money is what is being used for that. But I mean, for want of a better word, it doesn't make sense to me that we construct a huge edifice like this, and then come back to say that we don't have money to maintain it.
Yeah.
And so we sit down, and the thing is rotting
deteriorating in front of
us. And then in the next, let's say, 20 years, we still have to go back, get another huge loan to start the whole project from scratch.
Yeah.
Why don't we have money to maintain it? If central government doesn't have the physical cash, why are we not taking your approach?
Yes.
Why are we not bringing in private businesses who have what it takes to take portions? So somebody, for instance, can take up the landscaping of the area. Somebody can take up maybe security. Somebody can take this up. Somebody can take all the accessories to the roads and all that. And that is why we wake up one day and somebody has set a chop bar. At the interchange right there, just when it was open. And people are buying the food and they are sitting down and they are eating. So it means that the chop bar operator, the workers, the patrons don't understand anything we are doing.
So let's not even derogate the issue of the chop bar per se. Why don't we do it in a structured manner so that now we have a restaurant or a food court which also they can then host a chop bar, and it's all done properly, and David, all of these people contribute to taking care of the entire space.
Exactly, and my point is even the fact that somebody can decide to wake up one day
and just randomly
go randomly. You get it, to go and set up that. And nothing will happen because who is taking care of it?
So this is you are getting into another area of the responsibility of the citizen.
Yes.
And let me just say that all these discussions that we're having, it's not as if the ministry or the agencies are not aware, because we have had meetings on that, and some of the proposals that we are talking is something that the minister, our minister is an action man.
Terminator. We call him Terminator.
We call him Terminator.
He knows we call him Terminator.
Oh, okay. No, but he's an action-oriented man. He wants to have things done. But we also have to support him.
Yes.
And this is where I think that we need, as citizens, to be supportive. And you brought a very good, maybe that would be the point where we can just move into the area of our role as citizens.
Yeah.
I've talked about the fact that there's a need for us to be responsive and responsible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that if we are not even going to help, we must not destroy.
Exactly.
Again, so we need wasia. Now, we have provided this beautiful edifice. And like we saw in the report, it has been defaced. Not just being defaced. I do my morning walks to the interchange, and it's for providing healthy options for me.
Yeah.
So every morning I walk, do 4 kilometers in there, and then the first day I walk past the Guaco, and I realized that about 3 of the panels of the walkway handrails had been stolen.
Can you imagine?
And and someone say, why did we allow that to happen? Yes, during the construction, being aware, and you mentioned that, if you know that this is going to happen, why did you even put it there? Because they were still. But then so we said, okay, let us provide an anti-burglary, or some we call a burglar-proof system.
Yeah.
So over there, you cannot take a spanner and go and loosen the bolts.
Okay.
No, it is a spanner, it is a bolt that we tight when it gets to a particular torque and it is tight, it breaks.
Okay.
So that if you want to really take it off, of course, anything, if you have time and opportunity and you are dedicated, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay? But people have had these conditions being okay for them, and they have gone and they've taken 3 out. The following day, 6. The next day, 4. Making how many? 13. We reported to the police. Yeah, I've seen that now the police are making patrols and all that. But then, for me, where do these things go?
Exactly.
Don't we as
citizens,
citizens see?
Yes.
Because this is the kind of things that are, when I'm on a project, we go by specifications. These were unfortunately not manufactured in Ghana. Because we wanted a particular gauge,
so somebody has
received
them
of steel.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with that?
Somebody
they are not
has
going to, because this is a road infrastructure,
Yes.
infrastructure appurtenance. They are just going to crash them and use it for the steel.
Use scrap metal.
I remember Caleb, Kuda did a report with me.
Yeah.
Immediately we had commissioned the road 2 years ago. Somebody took 40 meters of fresh crash barriers. Now even the interchange itself, we have what we call expansion joints, and there are some thick metal plates on them. The other day, I got a picture that one had been removed. What are we doing to ourselves? The street lights, they are hitting them with abandon regard. Even during construction, before we could say Jack about how many, quite a number were gone.
Engineer.
They are stealing the cables. We are jacking on the asphalt. What are we doing to ourselves?
Wow. Listen, engineer, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes.
Look, the issues are multi-layered.
Yes.
The issues are many, and we could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, sure.
We haven't even delved too much into the responsibility of Ghanaians anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that our time is fast spent. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best. I mean, as we go forward with the ideas about how it is that we can manage that space, and make things better. I hope that you get all the support you need, and that as far as we will support you from where we are and make a lot of noise about the issues that have to be done. But we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We were joined this morning by Engineer Kwabna Bempong. He is the former resident engineer for the 4-tier interchange, Pokuase Interchange, as well as the president of the Ghana Institute of Engineering.